Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about on-page SEO. So what is on-page SEO? Why is it important for your YouTube or your blogging? And different elements that you can optimize. And finally, I'm going to leave my personal links to blog and how you can reach me for further tutorials or video ideas and suggestions. So stay tuned. So if you don't know me, my name is Jinx. I'm here to support fellow bloggers and other content creators in social media and digital marketing. If you look at the broad perspective, it's ideal for a YouTuber to have a website and for a blogger to have a YouTube. So I'm here to assist you expand your business. I'm here to assist you with breaking down of technical complex terminologies used into bite-sized pieces. So you common blogger or content creator can understand what is going on. You can either do it yourself to help rank your content higher in the search engine, or you can hire out people who would do it for you. But even when you're hiring out, you need to know the basic concepts, because otherwise you would bring in wrong people, waste a lot of money, a lot of time. So I'm here to break down these terminologies into small bite-sized tutorials. And today, of course, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about what is an on-page SEO. There are a lot of technical terminologies and definitions all over the internet, but in layman's term, it is something that you do on your website, especially on one particular page. I have seen people use on-page SEO and on-site SEO interchangeably, but I believe on-site SEO is when you optimize the entire website, and on-page SEO is when you optimize a single page in your website. Let's say you're optimizing one blog page. So what is optimizing? What do you mean by optimizing? In common terms, it is making your content user friendly, it is making your content rank higher in Google, and it is making your content searchable by users in the Google. So how do we do it? All of us are interested to do it. So how do we do it? So basically, you understood the on-page SEO. It mainly refers to the bloggers. What you do on your website, on one particular page, how do you make your page user friendly so it ranks higher in Google? So that's on-page SEO for definition. And why is it is important? If you're serving your end client, that is the viewer or your audience, they would return to you. New people will visit your site. It will increase the traffic, and of course it will help you grow your business. So that is the importance of on-page SEO. And like you have SEOs, and then you have on-page SEO, then you have off-page SEO. Both of them has technical aspect to it, and you have non-technical aspect to it. So if you talk about off-page SEO, it's mainly link building. We will cover it in another class, but in this we are talking about everything related to on-page SEO that you can do on your website, that you can do within your power, so it can rank higher. Like, I would not promise that it would rank on the first page, first line. It would usually be taken by the top guys, but what you can do is you can do your best so that it is accessible to more people. So the first important thing I would like to talk is, once you set up your website for blogging, you must index your website. What do I mean by indexing? Is like your different pages and your different site information is submitted to Google, so the Google can communicate to your website. That is, Google is aware that your website has all these information, and your website can communicate with Google, and this helps when the user is looking for that particular information. Google would throw out your website as a search result, and therefore you get more visitors to your site. So that is indexing. And the second thing you can do is make sure your web page or your blog post is crawlable. So what do you mean by crawling? Google as crawlers. So when it searches for, when it knows that your website can solve this particular solution, there would be crawlers that would be crawling through your web content, mainly the first 2 paragraphs or 100-200 words. Like it would crawl through to understand what it is, so that the content is relevant to the title and that answers the search query. That is Google's main intention. So when the Google is trying to crawl, if it is not crawlable, it may never bring out your web page information to the end user, and that actually destroys all the purpose that you're creating your web page. So make sure your web page is indexed, make sure your web page is crawlable. I know these terms are complex at the moment. I would be creating separate tutorial for each terminology in future. So stay tuned, because I don't want to cramp everything in one particular video and everything goes above your head. This is just an overview of on-page SEO, just trying to make you what you need to pay attention to, and slowly we will work on different aspects and improve my web page and improve your web page. We will do it together. All right. And then we need to understand something called, if you want to know SEO or on or off page SEO, I think you're familiar with the word keyword. Keyword is like anything the user could be searching, like it could be single term, like it could be like football, or it can be like how to play football. So football is a keyword, and how to play football is a long term keyword. So when you are trying to create your content, you need to remember what the user could be searching. And in my case, in my today's tutorial, I am keeping the keyword as on-page SEO. So I'm trying to address and resolve people's question about what is on-page SEO. So my keyword will be on-page SEO. So in blogging, your title, if it is relevant, don't put your keyword everywhere when it doesn't make sense. It will create a bad user experience, and they may never come back, and Google will think it's a bad website. So whenever possible, use your keyword appropriately. So in the title, it is advisable to have your keyword. Then it's advisable to have your keyword in the meta description. It is advisable to have your keyword in the URL. It is advisable to have your keyword in the first 2 paragraphs, because when the Google crawlers they come around, they know that okay, the keyword is related to the meta description, it's related to the URL, and it's related to the content. All this is relevant. So it will help the Google understand that all these are the right information. Basically treat Google like a small child. Don't think Google knows anything, but in your whatever you do on the website, make sure you use a keyword in it. So the Google, because it's not a human, it can understand that all these information is connected to one another. So make sure you're using the right keyword, the keyword that you can rank for. If you can rank for short keyword, just try to find a variation of it and try. Let's say on-page SEO, maybe there is a lot of competition, but if you do on-page SEO for beginners only, then yeah, you know, there is a variation in it, and it brings different kind of audience, and maybe your website can rank for beginners. Maybe it's not for digital marketers and all hi-fi people, but it is for common bloggers and content creators. So try to find a variation in which you can rank. And while creating the title, you can use terms such as how to, top 10, top 5, like when you create a list, or how to is like a tutorial. So it is so these are the information that is highly sought out by the readers or the viewers. So try to use those kind of terminologies in your title. Also in blogs, you have noticed there are tags. Make sure your tags contain relevant keywords and variation. Let's say you type football, football under $100, football for children, where to buy football. So if you write some keywords and your content also has that information, make sure your content covers that. Don't clickbait anyone. But when your content covers all that, you can tag them in your tags. And regarding another point regarding your title, H1 tag, use it for the main title. For subtitle, use H2, and if you have further points and your blog is really big, use H3, H4 and so on. But make sure, usually you can have multiple H1 title, but it will signal like too important information to Google. But it's advisable to target one main keyword and use that as a H1 title. It's not just for decoration purpose, it's also signaling to Google. This is the most key important message of this blog. So you use H1 tag for your main title, and as you go on describing various things, you use H2 titles, and then if your blog is really big, you use H3 and so on. Make sure you use bullet points and number lists in your blogs, because when you give a big passage to anybody, they're not going to sit and read that. Most of us, including me, we scan through something to understand the content, and if it's really interesting, if it's really catchy, and if I really need that information, that's when I sit and read everything in that page. So make the scanning process easier for the viewers. Keep your English simple. Nobody is here like a PhD holder trying to read your blog. Make it for common person. Let your paragraphs be 3 to 4 sentences, so it's easy to scan and they get the gist of it. Include pictures, include videos, and let your pictures, when I download the picture, like I usually download pictures from Canva, and I create it on like I download from Pexels, or I use Canva to create my own picture, and when I save it on my computer, I save it, like for example, when I'm creating an on-page SEO blog, I save the picture with the name on-page SEO. So when Google checks out that image, it knows, okay, this picture is related to on-page SEO. And then you have something called alt tags in your blogging. That is mainly to describe to Google what the picture is about, or also it can help the visually impaired person to know what the picture is about. Like in case the user, for technical difficulty, you can't see the picture but you can see the alt tag, it describes what the picture is. So make sure you use your keyword in the picture whenever required. Like don't, like, you know, let's say a girl is holding a teddy, don't name it on page SEO. Just try to describe what the picture is, but use pictures that are relevant to the topic. Use videos that are relevant to the topic. And even when you are using the picture, don't use a very huge file, because it will slow down the way your website loads. And these days people just don't have the patience to stay in the website. If it doesn't load fast, people would bounce out, and even though you have valuable information, they may never look into it. So the whole idea is, the whole idea is to use a very catchy title and meta description and bring viewers to bring traffic, you know, to your blog. And once they are there, to make them spend as much as quality time in your blog. So make your website, make your content very user friendly. All right, the next thing, Yeah, make sure the URL also has your keyword, and don't use a very long URL, because it again doesn't, let's say your URL just says on page SEO, so everybody, even the person looking at it or the Google, everyone knows what the URL is about. You can actually write the URL description in your slug, or you can do your changes in the setting. I will actually create separate tutorial for each of these guys, because when I put all these information in one particular blog post, it's too much for one person to understand. In this tutorial, you just need to understand what are the different elements we could be doing on page SEO, so you can optimize your website. So that's it. So you do your URL, you do your keywords, you optimize your pictures, you put video, because these days most of the information is consumed in the form of video. So it is good for you to put yourself out there on a YouTube channel and create video. Or if you're not comfortable creating a YouTube channel, there are various other platforms like Odyssey or something where you can put your video content and use that link and embed it in your channel. So if you directly load a video into your channel, it's a very huge file and it will slow down your website. So it is advisable for you to create a video on YouTube and put that link in your channel. The benefit of using YouTube is like Google is the first important search engine, and next to that video search engine, YouTube ranks first. So if you can create a YouTube channel and also have a blog, like it's it helps each other. So that's why I advise you to have a YouTube channel, and I also advise you to have a blog. So the bloggers must have YouTube, the YouTubers must have a blog. So we covered that. Make sure you proofread your blog. Make sure there are no grammatic errors. I told you guys I use a Hemingway editor. That helps me a lot. You can use Grammarly, Hemingway editor. It shows the score. If it's not readable, it will show a score. So use proper grammar, because if you don't give out good English, people will start judging you, like they'll start judging your knowledge, because the world is shallow. People will start judging you. They won't value what you've written. So it's important you use it's a simple tool. Just use a tool and create your blogs. Yeah, and as I told you, it has to be scannable. It has to be written in simple English, your content, because the idea of writing a blog is to transfer your ideas to the viewer or to the reader. So that goal has to be achieved. It's not here. We are not here to show off your English. We are not here to write a novel or a big book, but here you are trying to help someone. So keep your English simple and polished. Yeah, I didn't mention about the images to you guys. Use compressed image. The image has to have a good description, and it has to be an accurate description, because a visually impaired person can't see your image, but by you describing the image, he can get a sense of what's going on, and Google also gets a sense of what's going on. And by every blog you write, you need to improve yourself. Every video you make, you need to improve yourself, your knowledge, the way you do it, how you do it. This is the only way, guys. You have to improve and create a better user experience, so people will come back to you. They will remember you. Like I want people to remember me as a person who's here to help the bloggers and other content creators. As a fellow content creator and blogger, like I'm not a guru. I'm not someone big, but I am going through the same struggle you're going, and I want to help you with the knowledge I gain so you don't have to struggle, because a lot of information I am gaining, I'm going for online classes, I'm paying people, I'm going for webinar. It's a lot of money and time involved, but I want that process to be easy for you and that process to be made available for you. So that's the whole purpose of me creating these blogs. I didn't mention to you about slugs. Keep a close watch on my blogs. I will break down each of these components for you. Yeah, and when you are creating a web page, don't don't be so greedy that you put ads on every other sentence. Like, don't use ads aggressively. You can use it, you can use affiliate links, you can use ad, but the content is the main thing. You need to serve the client. You need to give enough information before you put some ads and distract them. You are creating a brand, so use it wisely. Use only ads in some places which goes like a flow, so use it wisely. And the other thing, even though link building is off page SEO, I want to talk about internal link building. Internal link building is where you are let's say in my blog post, I'm talking about on page SEO, and there are places I talk about SEO, and I have another blog where I created about SEO. So instead of making a big announcement, go to my blog where I talk about SEO, I can discreetly place a hyperlink, and if people are interested in it, they would click on the hyperlink and they would go and read what the SEO is about. So when you're doing an internal blogging, internal linking or external linking, don't be like a person like me, but just keep it discreet, keep it professional, so it is a good reading experience. And also, if people want to go into extra information, they will go and do it. So we covered linking, we covered grammar, yeah. So yeah, then you can have a call to action in your blog or on the video that you create. Like, if you just like in your blog, you don't tell your viewers to subscribe to your newsletter, nobody would, and you would lose your traffic. They come to your website and they go, and they may never come back. If people come to your YouTube, if you don't ask them to subscribe, like I'm asking you guys to subscribe now, they might visit your web page once and they may never come back. So you need to give a reason to the viewers or to the person who's reading why they need to subscribe to your channel. So my passion here is to help other fellow bloggers and other content creators with technical terms that are made simple. So anyone who is interested in such help, they would subscribe to my channel. I also do productivity book reviews, so people who are interested in that, they might subscribe to my channel as well. So lastly, I would like to talk about how you guys can reach me. On Facebook and Instagram, I do receive overwhelming number of spam messages and I can't handle it. But if any of you all have any professional help, if any of you all need professional help, you can leave them in my comment. Like, if anything is not clear to you, if you want me to make an additional tutorial, or if you want any sort of help, you can leave in my YouTube comment, or you can tweet me. I will leave my social links in my description, so you can tweet me, or you can leave comment in my YouTube, so I can know those are, like, don't put inappropriate comment, guys, I'm not gonna respond. But if you have professional need and if you need a tutorial, if you can't understand certain terminology, you can reach out to me. I'll find a way to help you. I would make a new video, or I would reach out to you. I will try my best to help you. It's not that I know everything. What I know, I will tell you. If I don't know, I'll try to ask someone around. Or if I can't find solution, I will let you know, because we are not gods, we don't know everything, but I will do my best. Thank you everyone for subscribing to my channel. I do have over 1,000 subscribers now, and I'm still waiting for my channel to be monetized, and once it is monetized, I would be checking on the comments, and I would give the most active user a giveaway. All right. Thank you for your support, guys. I love you all. Mwah. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Good night. Bye bye.